Hi friends, so let's start with our lab. So today we are going to do custom text classification lab. So in this lab, first of all, what they are saying us to go to the portal.azure.com and create a language resource. So we have to create a language service resource, and then we have to check this feature, custom text classification, and continue to the creation of resource will uh, tell all of this. So let's go to this and let's go to our language resource. I will not be creating the language resource, but let me show you how to create it. So you go to your language resource, then you click on create, then you will here see that what additional features you want to select. So these features like sentiment analysis, right? Text classification, sentiment analysis, key phrase attraction, pre-built question answering, conversational language understanding, named entity recognition. All of these are already provided with the language resource, but there are some custom features also. So these custom features are like uh, these are the pre-built capabilities, and these are the custom features which require us to use additional resources. Like for custom question answering, we need Azure AI search also, so we required one more resource. And for this custom text classification, custom name entity recognition, custom sentiment analysis, text analysis for health, all of these we required blob storage, right? We required one storage account for that, to connect to one storage account. So for all these we don't need any extra resource, but for custom capabilities, right, we need like extra resource. So for this we need a Azure AI search, custom question answering, and for these custom text classification, name entry recognition, sentiment analysis, we need a blob storage, right? For that we require an Azure storage account for that. So in this we will select this one, right, because we are dealing with custom text classification. Then we will continue to create the resource. Here we will add our subscription and resource group, whatever we want, right? Then name, any name we want, pricing tier, uh, any pricing tier. So like right now standard, so free is also available, but I'm using one more language resource, so that's why it's saying standard. Then new or existing storage account. So whether you want to create a new storage account or existing, so if we click on new, then we have to also give the storage account name, storage account type, what kind of storage account we want. So as this is for like testing purposes, we do not want that much redundancy, we could choose standard LRS, right? Then this responsible AI notice, we have to check this, and then we will click on next. Network, nothing, identity, tags, and then we have to review and create, right? So for the basic information, I think there was some missing information. Yeah, so pricing tier we did not mention, so yeah, so now it will create, right? So yeah, reviewing final validation. So yeah, I don't want to create it, so this is the template that you will get it, right? But right now I am not creating it because I have already created a language resource, right? So I will just use that. So I have already created this language resource from my previous lab, so I will click on this, right? And let's see, let's maximize this. So in this language resource I will go to uh, my resource management, and here we can have this option of features. So right now I have already enabled this for custom question answering, and now I also want this to enable for text classification, right? So I am enabling it for custom text classification and name entity recognition, and we have to select a storage account. So I am also not creating a new storage account, I will use a old storage account. So let me see what storage account I want. Portal.azure.com. So yeah, so I will be using this storage account. So this is the my language resource that I have already created, so that's why I'm not creating a new one. And because I haven't like enabled, I had only enabled custom question answering from my previous lab, but right now our task is custom text classification. So I will enable this one, and then it will ask me to it will ask me for the storage account, right? So I also won't create any new storage account. I will just choose the existing one, and I am using this storage account, and it has one of the containers, right? So this is from my previous lab, right? So let's choose this to HT Lab-4, right? And then we will click on apply button. Also, I wanted to mention that why do we need storage account? Because we want to store our data set on which we want to train our model, right? After clicking on apply, now it's updating. Let's see. Uh, while it's updating the configuration, the next step is to basically have yourself a storage blob data owner role on the storage account. So it has successfully updated, right? So if I now, okay, I will cross this. I will, okay, you have unsaved edits. So I have applied this, right? So let's see. I have already applied this. So yeah. So after applying this changes, let's see. We will go to our storage account. So this is the storage account that I have connected with my language resource, right? Let's refresh this. Maybe refreshing it. Yeah, I want to reload. Okay. Let's see. So if I go to key and endpoints, and now I go to features. So this is yeah, this has been enabled, right? I cannot enable it or like do anything. So this is enabled. Yeah. Then we will the next step is to go to your storage account. So you will go to our storage account. Then what we have to do, we have to provide ourselves a storage blob data owner role. So for which storage account we want the access. So for this storage account we want the access because we have linked this storage account with our custom text classification. So first of all, what we will do, we will go to its settings, right? And then in settings we have to go to I think configurations. So you have to go to the sorry, access IAM control, yes, because we have to configure the identity, right? So we will go to the IAM access control IAM, right? And then we have to assign the role, right? So we have to add a role assignments. So let's add a role assignment from here. So these are the current role assignments I have. So I am the owner of the subscription, and for some of that Lab-4, it has a reader, right? So we will just add our role assignment. So we will click on add role assignment, and then we will wait, right? So these are the roles. So what role you want? We want the role to be uh, storage blob data owner. So this is the role, right? Our scope is this one. So this is the blob data owners. We will select this one, right? So I think I have selected this. So yeah, this role is selected view. So these are the permissions here. And now let's go to the next, right? And then this is the selected role, and assign access to user. So because I am the user, so we will assign access to user. Then I have to select the member, like which user, right? So I have to select myself. So this is the one. So I will select this one. So I have given myself access to I have given myself access for as a storage blob data owner to this storage account. Then the description, we could also add description. So let's add description. Let's just leave it. Okay. Then we will click on next. Is there any conditions? We could add conditions here, but we do not want any conditions to add, but like we could add conditions here also. So let's click on next. Then this is review and assign. Then we will just click on review and assign. So We have the scope. So our scope is this storage account. This is our role, and this is the member who is getting the access. And yeah, review and assign. So this will add the role. So after configuring the role based access for ourselves, right? So we have to configure role based access for your user. So that is me, right? If you do not configure this, right? If you do not give yourself this storage blob data owner permission, right? Then when you will create this project, custom project, then you will get this error 403, right? Which is basically forbidden error, right? So that's why it's important that you get this access of storage data blob owner, so that you are the owner of the storage account. Even if you are the owner of storage account, you want this access, so that when you create the project, so that project will have linkage with the storage account. So this they just want to make sure that you have the access to the storage account. So that's why you are creating that project, right? So that is the reason here, that why you need to configure this. Now we have to upload sample articles. So before uploading sample articles, we have to create our container articles. So we have to create our container articles, and before that we want it to access anonymously, right? So that blob, so anyone who has the link can access the container. So we want to put that setting. So to put that setting, what we will do, we will come to the storage account. So right now if I go to my blob storage, so let's close this, and this is our storage accounts features. Let's go to the overview, and then this is the resource manager. This is our store, this is the language account, sorry about that. So yeah, this is our storage account, right? And then let's go to our storage overs. We have to look for the containers. So let's go on containers. And right now if I add a container, then I can add a container, right? But the anonymous access level is private. So we do not want a like private anonymous access level. We want it to be for the blobs, right? So this the access level is set to private because anonymous access is disabled. So because anonymous access is disabled, we cannot change this, right? So to change this, we have to basically enable the anonymous access in storage account. So to enable that, we will, yeah, okay. So to enable that, what we'll do, we will go to the settings, and then we will go to the configuration, and in the configuration we will have this option, anonymous blob anonymous access. So you can read here also. What basically it means is that if anyone has a link for the like the container, right, then it has some access. Like the person does not need to authenticate. So that's why it's all by default disabled, because it is a security risk. But for our testing purposes, we are going to enable it. So we enabled it, so some blobs may become anonymously readable. So anyone can read it. If the person has the link, then the person can read. So it is like on the internet. So yeah, right now we have just enabled this service, enabled this access. Right now we haven't given any access, right? So let's save this. So it's updating the storage account, and yeah, so yeah, this configuration has been updated. Now let's go back to our storage account. This now we will give the now we will create our blob container, right? So for that, for creating the blob, we will go to data storage, then we will go to containers, and here we will add our container. So what name we want our container? We want to name it articles. So let's copy this and let's paste it here, right? So this has not still been here. So I think sometimes it takes some time to update here. So let's refresh. Yes, reload. So let's see. So after refreshing, I think the problem is solved. Yes. So now I can paste my text articles. And now with anonymous access, we do not want private, that is not anonymous access. We want, I think, anonymous read access for blobs only. So this means that anyone can read blobs. Anonymous read access for containers and blobs. So anyone can read the blobs also, and also the containers, right? So I think we have to configure it for containers. Yeah, for containers. So what this mean is like, okay, let me first put it to container anonymous access, right? So yeah, so it means that all container and blob data can be read by anonymous request. So anyone who has the link can just paste that link in their web browser, and they will have the access to it. So there is no authentication required. That is what we mean by anonymous here. So anyone can read. There is a read permission for containers and blobs. So there is only read permission, no write permission, right? So clients can enumerate blobs with containers, right? Clients can enumerate blobs. Enumerate blobs means, like, if I go to this logs, then I can see a list of files. So that means enumerating, right, within the container by anonymous request, but cannot enumerate containers within the storage account, right? But it cannot enumerate the containers. It can enumerate like the blobs within the containers, but it cannot enumerate all the containers in the storage account. So that is what it means here, right? Let's create this. So it's creating this storage container articles. So it has been created. So now, right now there is nothing inside this articles container, but you see, in this logs container, which is from a previous file, also here it's nothing. But this is the container that we will use um, with our project, right? So the now next thing is we have to upload files. So yeah, so there is some files that they have given at this link. So I have downloaded it and extracted those files from, it was a zip file. So yeah, this is the downloads folder of articles. So here there are different articles like article 3, article 1 till article 13. So there are 13 article files, text files. So we have to upload those in our blob container. So this articles container, let's click on this, and then we will click on upload, and here we can browse our files, and we will click on articles, and we can basically upload all of these, right? So 13 files will be uploaded. So select browse for files, and sample articles you downloaded, select upload. So now we will just click on upload. So there are 13 files, so these will be uploaded. It will be shown here. So all of these are uploaded. Access tier is hot, right? And next thing is we have to create the project. So now everything in our Azure portal has been done. So if we go back to our containers, we can see in articles container now there are files, right? And this is our storage account that we have configured with our um, language, right? Our language project. So now the next step is we have to close this Azure portal. So our work with Azure portal has been done. We have to go to this link, language.cognitive.azure.com. So this is a language studio. So language.azure dot cognitive.azure.com. So we will go to this one. So after coming to this one, you have to sign in. Okay. After signing in, we will select our resource. So right now, let's wait for it. So if you have not connected any resource with your language project, then it will ask you for the language resource. However, if you have already configured your language studio with some resource, then you can just switch your resource. So right now, so I have already configured my uh, I have already configured my language studio with the resource. So I have, the current resource is a lab additive QA, right? So I have to basically change it. So let's select I also do not have to change it because I am using the same language resource. So that is also taken care of. So what we have to do right now is we have to create a project for custom text classification. So for that we will just create new project, and then from here we will select custom text classification. Then it has already tell us what is the subscription, what is the resource and storage account. So all of this we have already configured, so that's why it's we cannot, these are grayed out, right? You already have a storage account connected to this resource, and each resource only have one connected storage account, right? So let's click on next. Now we have to select our project type. So as you can see, we have a single level classification and multi-level classification. So let's see what kind of project we are going to make. Single level classification. Okay, so let's click on single level classification and next. Then this is the basic information. So classify lab will be the name of the project, and description will be custom text lab. Okay, so classify lab, description will be custom text lab. Okay, and the primary language will be English, right? Because all of this text will be in English US, so English US. And then does your data set include documents that are not in the same language? So all of our documents are within the same language. It's not like we have different documents with different language. So it is not a multilingual data set. So that's why we will not check this. Otherwise we would have checked out this, right? Yes, enable multi-language data set. We would have checked out if we had those documents, but all of our documents are in English. So let's click on next. Now from here we have to choose our blob container, which is articles, right? So we have chosen our blob container. So now next is, after choosing blob container, now I need to label my files as a part of project, right? We have to click on this. So we could have those documents which are already labeled, right? And if they are already labeled, and then we should have followed the correct format for JSON label files, right? So there might be JSON label files in which there are labels, but we do not have a data set in which we have labeled it. We don't have a labeled data set. That's why we are clicking on I would label my documents as a part of project. If we would have a data set which is already labeled, then we will select this, right? Yes, my documents are already labeled and I have correctly formatted JSON label files, right? Then here the label documents, choose a predefined labels to documents. So here we will select our label documents, right? But the thing is, we do not want that, so that's why we will click on no, I need to label my document as a part of project. Hey guys, so like when I was creating this container, right? So we were selecting this yes and no, right? So at that time, I got this error that portal cannot access your storage account. So it is saying that this portal, the portal being this language studio, cannot access your storage account. It cannot access my storage account. Uh, but why it cannot access my storage account? I have given the access, right? I have changed the IAM, and now I am the storage blob owner role, right? So I can access, right? So why it is saying that portal cannot access your storage account, right? And why it's that? Because there is a course error, so we have to enable course policies on your storage account, right? So let's see here also, if we open the developer tools, so you can see here we are having this course error. So this is a storage account link, the storage account dot blob dot co dot windows dot net articles. So this is the container, the link of that container, right? So we cannot access this because it is a different origin. So language.cognitive.azure.com is a different origin. So because these two are different origins, so by origin, what we mean by origin is basically this whole URL, containing the domain name, containing the port number, and also the protocol like HTTPS or HTTP. This is the domain name, right? and this is the domain name, and then the protocol, domain name, and the port number. So port number will be 80, right? So it's like we call HTTPS or those kind of things. So all of this is called the origin. So because the requesting party, that is our this language studio, is on a different origin, and the party on which request is going, that is our blob storage container, that is on a different origin, right? That origin is different. That is also same protocol, but that domain name is different, which is blob.co.windows.net. So that is why it is giving a cross origin resource error, right? Course error. So for that, what we have to do, we have to create a course policy in our storage account. So to create the course policy into our storage account, we will go back to here in the course errors. Let's go to our Azure portal, and in our Azure portal, let's minimize this one, F12. Okay, and now let's go to our storage account. So this is our storage account. So I already went there, but like this is the overview of the storage account. So what we will do, we will go to our configurations here in the settings, and here this no course. Okay, so where we have to go for the course, just give me a minute. Yeah, so we have to go to the setting only. So after going to the setting, let's go to the resource sharing. So here you can see resource sharing course, right? So here in the blob service, because you want the access for the blob service, right? So here what we will do, we will add a course policy. So we want our language studio. So let's copy the language studio's origin. So this is the language studio's origin. Let's copy this here. And what kind of methods you want? Let's select all of them, right? And allowed headers star, exposed headers star, right? And then this is the max age. So max age we will set to 0. So this is basically for pre-flight request. We can set this to 1-800 also, right? 1800, right? So we will save this, and now let's save this. So we have mentioned our origin, also the allowed methods, allowed headers, and the max age. So let's save this. So after saving this, we can go back and let's go back to our this language.cognitive.azure.com, and then let's create our project again. So this time we will not have the error. Let's see, this is the name of the project that we want. So let's click on create new, then custom text classification, next, project type single label, next, enter information, project name, language, English, minute, English, English US, then description, let's say custom text lab, and let's read this. And now our blob container, we will select the articles blob container. So we will not click on yes, my documents are already labeled, because our documents are not labeled, and I have correctly I don't have a JSON label files. So that is why I will label my documents within the project. So that is why I'm saying no, I don't need to label my document as a part of the project. So now we will click on next, and now we will click on create project. Let's see. Yeah, so let's click on create project and wait for project to get created. Okay, so it's saying forbidden. So guys, we have this error, which is forbidden error, and this error is telling that you cannot access the storage account. It was denied. It's saying that the language resource must have at least storage blob data owner access to the storage account. So it is saying that language resource should have the access, right? but we gave ourselves the access, the user, like ourselves the access. So in the documentation also they have mentioned that select members, select your user, right? You can search your username in select field. So they have told us in the documentation, like in this Microsoft Lab documentation, that we have to select user. However, here they are saying that the language resource should have the permission. So we will give the language resource permission now, because that way we can solve this error. So let's go to our language resource. So we have to go to our storage account, right? So storage account, uh, let's go to our storage account. So it is the, yeah, this storage account. So let's expand this and let's go to its IAM. Before that, we have to make sure that um, our language resource has a managed identity, because we have to create a managed identity for that. So we have to ensure that our language resource has a managed identity. So for that, what we have to do is we have to go to our language resource. This is the language resource, lab L2QA. So this is our language resource, and here let's go to resource management in our language resource, and then here we will go to identity, and in the identity we will see the system assigned identity. So the status is on, so it has been assigned a system identity, so like the system assigned managed identity. So we can go now to our storage account. So this is our storage account. Let's go to overview, and in the storage account we will go to access control, IAM, and here we can see role assignments. So previously we provide a, blob data storage owner. So Azure AI this owner. So previously we have assigned this blob data owner permission to ourselves, but now we will assign this to manage identity of our language resource. So for that we have to click on add role assignments, and then we have to wait, and then we have to select the role. So storage, uh, I think a blob owner, blob owner. Yes, so this is the storage blob data owner role. You can view what kind of permissions it has. So these kind of permissions it has: generator, delegation key, delete blob, get blob container, put blob container. So a lot of those permissions it has. So yeah, blob owner. So we will select this one, then we'll go on next, and here now we will go to the manage identity, right? Assigned access to manage identity, and now from here we will select the members. So now from here we will select the language one. So we have the language identity, and this is the language identity. So we have selected our member. So let's click on select. So now we have added this manage identity. Now let's click on next. So this is a storage blob data owner role. Next, review and assign. So we can see we have the role of storage blob data owner to our managed entity of language resource, and the scope is our storage account, right? So now let's review and assign. Now it's basically assigning the role assignment. So now we can see that we have this, let's see, storage account owner, storage blob data owner. So now we have access of this to our managed entity also, right? So now if we go to our language studio, so let's go to our language studio. So a language.cognitive.azure.com. Now here, let's wait for a moment. Yeah. So here we will create our new project again, and this time probably we will be able to single classification, basic information, project name. So in the project name we have to put this project name, classify, this is the model name. We have to, yeah, this is the classify lab and custom text lab. Okay. English. Okay. English US. Description, custom text lab. Next, blob container articles, right? No, I don't need to label my document as a part of this project. Let's click on review and finish. And now let's click on create project. So yes guys, I just need to refresh and then this project has been created. Classify lab, right? So this is our project, and then now it's asking select which project you want to work with. We will select classify lab and we will work this with this project, right? So yeah, now what's the next instruction? So after we have created the project, select create project, okay, and now we have to go to our data labeling activity. So select the project you want to work with. So this is the project I have selected, right? You have to click on this, okay. Yeah, so it's saying make sure your course is configured correctly on your storage resource. Let's see this. So we have configured the course in this here. So we have allowed all headers, exposed all headers, allowed methods, all. Maybe there is a problem with allowed regions. So let's for testing only, let's put this star and let's save the changes and let's see whether the problem is fixed or not. So it has successfully saved the course rules. Now let's refresh, right, and try to open it again. So let's try to open this again, and I think now this will work. Yeah, so this is working. So there was some problem with the course, so I changed it to the stars. So I have allowed everything, like all the regions, but yeah, you should not this is not a good practice. We should have the actual origin here, but for the testing purposes we can use this one and progress with our lab, right? So now let's see what's the next step, that is to label your data.